and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, I post on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. What does the circle need to know today? I keep seeing the Lovers and the Devil card. We have the Seven of Wands, the Moon, Justice, Ace of Wands, interesting, wow, Knight of Cups, and and the Lovers, and I did see the Empress, so I'm going to take it. The Lovers and the Empress on the bottom of the deck here. Wow, so this is a very, very clear message to me. Right off the bat, the second I started pulling cards. So you have really dodged some bullets here. I'm talking like Neo from the Matrix type of dodging bullets. And it's funny because when you even look at this card, I mean, it literally, if it wasn't bullets and it was wands and or sticks coming at you, I mean, it's just, yes, literally dodging them. And so I'm seeing that this may largely have to do with relationships. Now, it could be romantic because we do have the Lovers and the Empress on the table. The Empress can deal with pregnancy, can deal with nurturing, and it could even be that you step more into that nurturing sort of energy. The Empress is somebody who has like a very much green thumb. So it's like anything they touch grows. What's that king that, I can't remember. There's an old like fairy tale about a king who whatever they touch turns to gold. It sort of has that sort of connotation to it where it's like things could have gone one way where like anything you touch grows, and there's like a positive or negative to that, because if you touch something beautiful, the beautiful grows. If you touch something nasty, the nasty could grow. Or the same thing as that fairy tale where the king touches anything that turns to gold. It's like, well, if you touch this card and it turns to gold, you know, it becomes worthy of something and has value maybe. But if you touch, say, your dog and turn him to gold, you're not going to be so happy about that, right? So I'm seeing here that it's sort of that double-edged sword energy here where you really were on a tightrope, excuse me, of falling between these two very different energies. And I'm seeing that with the cards on the table, I'm seeing that you dodged that bullet. You ended up turning more into the nurturing Empress energy that didn't fall into the nurturing the wrong things or touching your dog and turning him to gold, if we're going with that analogy here. We were really able to dodge some bullets and really move forward in a positive way. Now, here's what I'm seeing though, in addition to that message. There's still something about certain situations that regarding this reading, and for you, it's going to be different depending on the person, as this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. There's still some things that have not come to light. Now, that could be having to do with feminine energies, because the moon is a feminine energy, whereas the sun is considered masculine energy. Now, we do have the moon and the sun in this particular moon card. Could have to do with the balance of the two energies here. Could also have to do with partners, whether it's romantic or not, being in or out of balance. But it could also have to do with the moon cycles as well. I should say that there could be some sort of information coming through over the next moon cycle. So within the next like month approximately. But anyway, the moon oftentimes deals with things being hidden or potentially illusions. And it could also be that you may think, let's just say if it's a romantic partner, you may think this romantic partner is doing so fantastic without you. They're not. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that particular example, but whatever it is, there's some sort of illusion here that you think is going on, and that's not really what's going on, because we have justice that comes right afterwards. And so justice is karma. It's a balance of energies. It is literal justice. It is sometimes simply making a decision. But what I'm seeing here is that whatever situation that you were in recently that you ended up dodging a bullet, if it's not clear to you now, it's going to be very clear to you soon. If you've already realized you've dodged the bullet, there's going to be some other information that's going to be coming in here shortly, and some other offer or action that's going to be taken, or an idea that's going to be coming and forming towards an action. Now, this could be specific to you making that decision, or could have to do with the person involved with you. If it's a situation where it's romantic or other or whatever, it could have to do with that, because we do have the Knight of Cups on the table. But more than likely, it's going to be a decision or some sort of information that's going to help you move forward in your journey, is more of what I'm seeing here. So let's just take a couple more cards. Okay, wow, I dropped both of these cards. Interesting, they came out one like back to back like this. So we have the Nine of Pentacles, which has to do with sovereignty, independence, somebody who's very financially stable, is building their own kingdom, is nurturing, is highly respected. And then we have the High Priestess, which is a very similar sort of energy, but it's somebody who is very in tune with their feminine energy, also Pisces energy. The High Priestess is ruled by Pisces. Water energy is sort of being able to understand emotions, being able to not be lied to or manipulated, being more in tune with your higher self and your intuition. Can also mean being a messenger between two, or being stuck between two ideologies or two groups of people or two separate things. And so it's interesting that these came out, and now I'm actually curious because it just so happens that the deck is split. So let's find out what's on the bottom of the deck here. Interesting. We literally have 10-10. Like, look, I can't even make this stuff up, you guys. Oh, and now we have the Fool. We have the 10 of Wands, and we have the card 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune also has to do with balance. The 10 of Wands has to do with carrying burdens or feeling like you're at kind of your wit's end, but then finally ending a very long, what seems like a very long sort of chapter. And so as we're talking about closing out these chapters, I'm seeing that this situation of dodging this bullet had a lot to do with you learning how to differentiate your higher self and your intuition and your positive internal voice from your negative one. Understanding how to be more authentic and more you unapologetically, and to really build on your own strengths here. And because you've learned these lessons, you are stepping into a much more authentic but much more abundant chapter of your life, and it's bringing in huge new beginnings. But be grateful for these bullets you dodged, because these bullets that you dodged seem to have played a huge part in your recent spiritual awakening. And so there may be some additional things that are going to come to light with that, maybe some additional realizations or breakthroughs that could have to do with what the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups has to do with. Could also be, if this is a romantic situation, huge breakthroughs of the cycles that you've been stuck in for a very long time in terms of picking the wrong partners or attracting the wrong partners. And I'm seeing that the Wheel of Fortune is a huge, big, massive energy. And sometimes it may not feel like a big, huge, massive energy, but it ends up being very important later on. So it could be that either this breakthrough is going to be massive, or you're going to realize that this whole situation as a whole ended up being like the pivotal moment that changed everything for you, where you literally stepped off one path and stepped onto the other. And that's what I was talking about too, with that energy of the Empress who can touch anything and it grows, or the fairy tale guy that I can't remember his name. If you all know what I'm talking about, put his name down in the comments below, because I really want to remember who the heck he is. But anyways, that energy of turning things to gold, but that could actually be a benefit or could be a negative. So I'm seeing that this moment was pivotal in deciding whether you were going to continue down the positive path or the negative one. This could even be for some of you who are in the middle of breaking huge generational cycles or curses or traumas. This could even be that. You could be literally, for your generation and your family, taking on all of the family baggage and putting it to rest once and for all. That may actually be what this is for some of you. For others of you who are not in a situation like that, this is life-changing in the sense that this is putting you on a totally different path than you were on before. That's going to bring in so much more happiness and fulfillment than you even probably could have imagined, because you were opening up your horizons and you're opening up your mind in a way that you didn't have before. And so you're breaking down these obstacles, these walls and things that you sort of created for yourself that you didn't even realize you created. I'm going to take one card from the Signs of the Time Oracle deck. Just one more final piece of guidance for you on the situation here. That is so weird. I was literally just thinking obstacles are going to be removed. Well, that's literally what this card is to me. So all these obstacles, and it's funny because I had just said that too, as like right before I shuffled these cards, about your obstacles being removed. So this card in particular in this deck, if you were to read, actually, I don't know where it is. I was gonna just read it to you, but this card in particular, if you were to open up the booklet and you were to actually read it, it talks about how there's different ways to go about obstacles. So you can go through the mountain, you can go around the mountain, and you can go over it. But sometimes taking the long route ends up actually teaching you the most about your situation. And 5, the angel number 5 has to do with changes. And so what I'm seeing here is, and also the other thing it says is that each obstacle you face, sometimes there's days where you want to tackle the whole obstacle and tackle the obstacle itself, and other days you just want to rest. I want to say all that because I want to make sure, since all of you are going through different situations and this is more of a collective reading, I want to make sure I'm telling you as many messages as I can so that you all can decipher what you're supposed to get from this reading. But that aside, notice how, well, actually, I don't know if you can tell, but because I actually don't even know if I put it up close if you can tell, but the road actually curves away from the mountain. And so what I'm seeing with this is that we're going to be leaving a lot of these obstacles behind, because I had also said that prior to this, but I'm also seeing that because of the decisions we've made. And to be clear, this isn't you taking the easy way out. This is actually this was not the easy way out. Actually, working through these problems was a harder path to take. And because you took it, These mountains here, you're now going in a different direction to where you're not even having to figure out how to jump over it, go through it, whatever. You're now going in a completely different direction where these obstacles are really not even going to matter anymore because they're not going to be relevant to your path. And so with that being said, be very proud of yourself. I want you to really take time to acknowledge how far you've come because this is quite a feat. And notice, like, there's other cards in this deck, just to be clear, that have to do with obstacles and have to do with disruptions. You got the mountains. You didn't get like lightning, which is disruptions, or like distractions. You got the mountains. Like, the mountains are difficult feats. They take time. It's not, I mean, you tackled the mountains of your problem. You didn't tackle the molehills. So that being said, this is a huge spiritual awakening. I mean, this is massive, massive, huge spiritual awakening. So congratulations to you. People don't say that enough for really putting the work in. I mean, this is not easy stuff we're talking about here. This is extremely difficult. And for those of you who are still working through it, just know that you're going to come out the other side looking completely different from your traumas or your past. You're going to be able to create that life for yourself that you've always wanted, that stability, that peace, that happiness. And you're already on that path. You're already cultivating it. So as long as you continue to nurture it and you continue to make those choices to be happy, to move forward, and you're looking at the overall long-term goal instead of just like short-term, quick, fast, what's the word I'm looking for? Like instant gratification. You're actually finding things that are going to last and that are going to hugely matter in the long run. And it kind of goes along with the whole idea of anything is worth waiting for. And to be clear, you're not in a waiting energy. I don't mean that, or that you should be in a waiting energy. I just more mean that you've been patient, knowing that better is coming and you're not willing to settle for less anymore. And I think that's largely what this whole situation was about, is that you finally made a choice where it might have been the harder decision, but it wasn't the easy one. It's a lot easier to be unhappy than it is to be happy. There's a lot more effort in the beginning to switch over to having a happy life and maintaining that happy life than it is to be negative and be unhappy. So that being said, that's a feat all in itself to make that decision to be better, to elevate, and to work for better. So congratulations to you. I'm extremely proud of you if nobody's told you that lately. I'm very proud of you. So keep at it. You have some awesome things coming. The Wheel of Fortune is exciting energy. So be very excited because you've got some great things coming. So this is your reading. If it resonated with you, don't forget to like this video. Your affirmation for this reading: I am open to receiving all of the blessings that are coming my way. That is your affirmation for this reading, because you need to make sure you're in that receiving energy, because you're about to manifest a lot of positivity. And so you want to make sure you're in that mindset. Even though we're talking about overcoming obstacles and things, that's important too. But make sure you're in that receiving energy. That's really what's going to tie that last knot of the shoelace into place. That was a weird analogy. Whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. All right, so as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.